But the thing about biting is that it's like they say on Beat Street. You take a piece and leave the rest. We bit somebody's style, but then we like formed into our own. Like I'm gonna do it like them, but I'm gonna do it like this. That's always I'm gonna do it like this part. Always has to come out of biting because that's just how you grow. That's how you.
Yeah.
That's how you evolve. That's how we all evolve. We learn from our history. All right, y'all. Welcome back, or welcome back. This is a
For the
episode.
first time, for the very first time,
This is
welcome.
episode one, but to me and l.hundo is episode two, because the first time we didn't get the visual going, but hopefully this time we get it right. Anyways, how's your week going, dude?
I can't complain. It's good. Work wasn't bad. I'm not tired. I'm able to be productive on my days off. What about you?
It's productive, man. Doing a bunch of stuff right now. Uh, this week was actually not as busy as last week, but it was productive. Doing all the Christmas stuff. I hate Christmas.
Yeah, I can't. Everyone, it's gift cards for me.
Yeah, for sure.
I ain't
Same
going.
here.
Well, we can't. It's not like we can go shopping anyways. But
Oh,
either way, I'll give you cash or gift cards. I'm not
right?
gonna go fucking be in a store with angry people.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good gift. Some all fresh gear.
Oh, that's right.
Hell yeah. We're
Perfect
getting
Christmas gift.
yes. And it's our sponsor for today. It's all fresh coming out with hoodies. Hopefully sometime next week and the following week after that. Got some hoodies coming. We got some shirts available right here, like he's wearing. So check it out, all fresh on IG. But damn, dude. So how did we get started in this shit? How did this all come into fruition?
Um, Pretty much you in my from me gathering thoughts, it all started with you being the first to get most of the gear, and then me following after. So I think you should start it off.
A little base hundo origin story.
Yeah,
Um, shit. This was like middle school. I want to say maybe high school. Middle school when we started b-boying or breakdancing, however you want to call it. So we started breaking. Three different terms. We started breaking because of actually your dad. Remember that
yeah.
he taught us b-boying and
The b boy basics and the pop locking popper basics, pretty
for
much.
sure. So we started off with that. Remember it was like fucking 2000 and 2005, I think we started doing this.
Yeah, for sure. Middle school, for sure.
Yeah. And we're the only ones there. We're the fattest ones and the only ones b-boying. That was dope, man. That has so much fun. But yeah, I think that's what basically got us into hip hop, if you would so put it.
Yeah, my dad definitely had a lot to do. Um, it started off as we would be landscaping with him, and it started off as him, making fun of us sometimes, but he'd be freestyling, even though he was not a rapper, but he'd be freestyling, and then pretty much battle rapping us, even though we didn't know what was going on. But from there, it all started off when he would get us into the old school hip hop too. Like I think he shared a lot of the old school rap and b boy '80s electro stuff.
And we basically went through like the birth of hip hop, but in our own. I was thinking that the other day. Um, as you know, b-boying basically set it off. Breaking. Breakers would break to the breaks,
Yeah,
and we started b-boying, and then got into graffiti because of b-boying, because we were just graph writing on our cardboard when we would b-boy on them.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. I
And
didn't. I did. I totally didn't remember the fucking little quick little block letters that we started doing too.
yeah.
And that was all my dad too. My dad started,
Mm-hmm.
fucking doing his little sketches to show us exactly what it was, and came up with our names, and then that was it.
Our b-boy names. Those are some I don't want to go back to those old
Yeah.
games. I don't know, we straight bit them from Beat Street, so yeah, that was
Yeah, we were too young. We weren't clever enough to. I mean, well, on my behalf, I wasn't clever enough to understand that you could come up with your own name, pick your own letters, and I just thought like, oh, you could have that name because he has it or something like that.
yeah. I mean, but I guess that's early for anybody that's doing anything in hip hop. Is just I guess that's the fear, but then that's what everybody does. Is they bite, quote unquote bite.
To an extent,
Yeah,
and then they get that knowledge, and then they'll elevate, and oh, you kind of get your history right, and
definitely. Yeah, because I know, yeah, we would bite all these b boys and graffiti artists, and but the thing about biting is that it's like they say on Beat Street. You take a piece and leave the rest. We bit somebody's style, but then we like formed into our own. Like I'm gonna do it like them, but I'm gonna do it like this. That's always I'm gonna do it like this part. Always has to come out of biting because that's just how you grow. That's how you.
yeah.
That's how you evolve. That's how we all evolve. We learn from our history. And
So then, fast forward, um, you just one day, I just remember you just fucking. I think we were definitely in high school at this point. One day, you just fucking had a pair of turntables. So, how was that?
oh
How'd
man,
that
I
come into effect? Like, how did you find where to get these, and did you just, how did it happen?
actually my dad had bought me a quad, a Honda 400. I remember sports track. It was freaking dope. But I remember I think I crashed one summer. We went to San Felipe. We went riding out there, and I crashed and I didn't tell anybody. I fell straight on my back onto some rocks. And I just was hurting all weekend. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to freaking do this, and I won't be able to to break and b-boy and shit anymore. So yeah, after that crash, we got back home a few months later. I was, of course, we were always into like the hip hop scene, and every time you hear Jam Master Jay or what's the DJ from NWA, freaking Yella, DJ
Yellow.
Yella. Whenever you hear them start cutting, you and me would just start like mimicking like,
Hmm.
and it's just
And that's funny thing too, cause like it's weird that we had that instinct to go like this. Like I remember being little too, and a song came on where they had a little wiki, and instinct was just to go like that, and it's like I didn't even know what turntables are.
yeah. But it was the back and forth of a record. But yeah, I think after that I thought about it and I was like, you know what, I want to try DJing because I really like the music aspect of b-boying. So sold my I told my dad to sell my quad and give me some turntables and got some like cheap turntables, probably like some of the worst I've ever seen. I didn't even know what they were called. I think they were just some knockoffs of whatever
It
was
was
out at the
wasn't it
time.
Denon?
No, it wasn't Denon. It was something else. I can't remember what it was. I think it was just a knockoff of Techniques because they look like Techniques, but they super like the belt drive on it was like wobbly as hell. I couldn't do anything on it.
Oh no, I remember Gemini.
No,
They were
no.
Gemini.
Were they Gemini?
Yeah,
They might have been Gemini. I don't
yeah,
know.
they
I
were
can't.
Gemini.
But yeah, I remember. Yeah, doing that. That was we I invested into it. As soon as I got it, I was like, shit, what do I do with this now? Because even the the mixer I had was a Radio Shack mixer, and that was that mixer. I still actually just threw it away. I had that for years, and that was like those big old fat knobs. You couldn't really do much. It was like super rough. And I was just trying to do something with it, and I couldn't do it. I would think that every corner of the record scratch is different, but it really just depends on the sound. But yeah, I started with that. I started with of course, like anything else, you buy something, you invest in something, you're like, shit, what did I just buy? How can I make this work? And I think I ended up selling those and buying some actual Newmark, the Newmark DJ. Like it has a set with the Newmark mixer and the Newmark turntables, of course, belt drive too. But you know, getting into that, I think I was the next level up. And yeah, we think you got inspired and you bought your own set of like turntables.
Yeah, I remember going over to your house, and You had it going. You had a couple of records too. I don't remember which ones they were, but you did have like 4 or 5 records, and I was just amazed that he has it and he's doing it. I was like, wow, like
The stuff we'd mimic.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, of course, I was inspired. I was like, I want a pair now. I gotta do this. Like this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So then, I saved up, and I can't remember where I got my pair from. I think you know what? I think it was in a catalog. And at the time, like
Wasn't it Sam Ash
no,
catalog?
no, I didn't get these at Sam Ash. These were I think I bought them on the internet. Actually, this was super like when you're able to buy shit on the internet, like the beginning stages of it. So I think I was begging my dad like to can you just call them and use your credit card or put your credit card because everyone was scared of putting their credit card
Oh yeah.
at that time.
I don't want my information on the
Yeah.
internet,
So I
man.
had to beg my dad. I had the money, and I got it was a turntable little package deal, and they were Ion turntables. And in the future, I did my research, and they were off a lower off brand of Newmarks, but they were pretty horrible. The fader started bleeding within a week. Um,
Yeah, same with my new mark. It started bleeding after like a month. And bleeding, to people that don't know, bleeding is when your crossfader from like left turntable to right turntable, when you turn one of the turntables off, which is say you want to turn off the right turntable, you'll still be able to hear the sound, and that's what bleeding is. It
yeah,
bleeds into the
basically
other sound.
the sound from the one channel is bleeding onto, and it's on off bleeding onto the channel that's open.
Yeah.
But yeah, it started bleeding, and I was still, I was upset, and but we still, we still made the best out of it, and we
Yeah.
still had the love for it, so we are gonna just start doing it. And I don't know. Also, the turntables I had too skipped like a motherfucker. Like they were belt drive and
Yeah.
had the quarter on there,
We tried
had
everything.
the tone arm, I mean the weight reversed on there. We did all the little things we could possibly do.
Yep. Just watching all these tips and trick videos, and
Yeah,
not even like YouTube wasn't even a thing. So it was the DVDs of the
yeah,
what built to scratch or built from scratch with
that
the
one,
executioners and
and then I think it was the Q-Bert's Do It Yourself.
do it yourself DIY, Qbert, um, and just learning from that. Like thankful those were out at the time because we would have never figured this shit out.
Yeah,
Uh,
and remember too, like I don't know if we learned that from the video. Remember when we started using the cutoff switch,
oh
the clicking one to scratch
yeah,
to
yeah, the line
the line
and
in, yeah, a phono or line, right?
yeah, yeah, we started using that to scratch because we saw other people doing it.
Yeah.
Eric B, I think, did it too on one of the records on when
Oh, that's right. That's
yeah,
right. You
he
could
started.
hear that.
Yeah, you can hear like the
Eric B
clip.
for president, right?
Yeah, you can start hearing
Yeah.
the clip, and that's what the line in the phono was. It
I
always clipped for some reason.
Man, it didn't dawn on me till you said it, dude. Because I was listening to that song the other day, dude,
Yeah,
and then I heard it. And I was like, I know his shit's not weak. He doesn't have a weak ass mixer.
yeah. But then like you would see like Grandmaster DXT, instead of using the top of the turntable, they grab the side of the record and scratch like that, so
So when
it wouldn't
skip,
skip. And that was something I was starting to learn.
yeah.
Like shit, just grab it from the side, it wouldn't skip as much. Um,
So yeah, like I got inspired by you, and I got that kit, and then as time went on, I knew I needed a new mixer. So and I had no knowledge of like what was dope and what is good and what is not. I just had this mentality of you probably buy something expensive and it's good.
oh yeah.
So I saved up, and I think it was $400, $400 to $500. I bought a fucking 3 channel mixer
Oh, I remember that.
by
It was
Stanton
Stanton, yeah.
Stanton.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, this is it! Like, I know this is it. Like, it just looks cool.
Yeah.
This is a good mixer."
Yeah, it was
And
a rave mixer.
yeah, it was a fucking,
It was,
it was
it
a
was
rave
dope.
mixer, dude.
It was dope, but it was a fucking rave mixer. I'm like,
And
oh
the
shit.
fucking what made me laugh is the crossfader wasn't a little square. It was like a slope, like
Yeah.
that, and it was rubber, so you couldn't even fucking like
You
try to
couldn't
crab
crab,
if you.
yeah.
And that was my thing. Like the first scratch I ever learned was crabbing, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get it going now. Like it's on. And the
Yeah.
fucking rubber ass shit. I was like, oh, dude, it ain't gonna work, dude.
Yeah.
I was so bummed out. I knew I was like, I knew I fucked up at that point. I knew I fucked up. I was
Yeah.
like,
But we still made it work. We still use the line of phonos, and we thought we were gonna get away from it, but you live and you learn. Probably you learn better from your mistakes than you learn any grade in your school.
yeah, we
But
we learned to improvise and fucking use what we have. Then
oh, we learned also that there's scratch records out there. We didn't know that at the
mhm.
time. We just thought we got like Beastie Boy records and Grandmaster Flash's the Furious Five records and just played the instrumentals and the little sayings that they would say without the beat. We cut that.
Yeah, sometimes we were even cutting with the beat because I mean, I didn't really know either.
Yeah.
But speaking of scratch records, I remember you got the first Dirt Style record, but
Yeah.
we had no knowledge of what Thud Rumble and Dirt Style. But he had the Dirt Style record, and of course the Aw sound was on the Ahhhh Fresh, and it just blew my mind because like we were drawn to that sound without even knowing what it is.
Yeah.
It's just like I remember us when we take turns, we keep going back to that sound, and it was only one sound. It wasn't a skipless record, so it would skip, and we try to find it again, and we keep going back to that sound. I always thought that was
Yeah.
like gnarly how that sound is like, even though we had no knowledge of what it is or it was for scratching,
Well, we
like
kind of had
it's
knowledge
with
because we
us.
would hear it on different records.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I did. I honestly, I didn't have any knowledge. I knew what it was, but I just didn't know like what it was. If that makes
Yeah.
any
No,
sense.
I get it. But yeah, talking about the Dirt Style record, there was only one spot here in the valley that sold records that we knew of, and it was Record Alley right there in Palm Desert Mall. And yeah, that was like finding those records. Like, oh shit, they sell records here. Shit, let's start buying them from here instead of having to go all the way to San Bernardino or L.A. or something like
Oh,
that.
that's right. We went out to that one shop that one time.
Yeah, but
Was
then
it
they didn't have scratch records out
Amoeba?
there.
Was it Amoeba?
No,
No, it was
it's
no. This was I know which one it was. It was the
yeah,
wrong one. It was
it was a
San Bernardino. It was like
yeah,
in
it
the
was
hood.
it was a good distance from the freeway, but we
Yeah,
go and check it out. They have CDs, cassettes, records. I think they even had 8 tracks there.
yeah.
But that was a cool little spot, man. I like that. I wonder if it's still there.
This
But
should still be there.
yeah, we stumbled on. I stumbled onto this Dirt Style record, and yeah, like you said, I found this Dirt Style record. We found this Dirt Style record. I found this Dirt Style record, and yeah, the first sound as soon as you put the record on the first groove, it's like oh fresh or beep oh beep fresh,
Yeah.
and then it'll just play all the other boom 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 boom.
The
Yeah,
scratch beats.
yeah.
And
So
I remember too, like for a while when we were first getting into, that's all we were going to the record alley for was to try to find scratch records with an actual All Fresh.
yeah,
I know I didn't get an All Fresh sound till like 3 records later, and I didn't have the money, so I'd have to go every time I had some cash. But
oh yeah.
the first one I got was like a DJ Rectangle, and another one it was like a I never even heard of the makers, but
You talking about the skipless records or which ones?
no, no, just regular because there was other scratch records, but I just had no knowledge of
Yeah,
what was
yeah, I know.
on there.
Yeah, I still have some like M Boogie and all them. Like I didn't know M Boogie was like a DJ that made records and stuff. Of course you had Thud Rumble. We always like gravitate to Thud Rumble because we knew that there was scratch records, even though some of them were actually just records with just beats on them.
Yeah, and then that was another thing too. Like we were constantly digging for these records because they had dope scratch beats. Like
Hmm.
not all of them, but there was always that one, and
Yeah.
we were always drawn to like electro style beats for sure, or like even the old school like this is pre trap beats, but like the 808 beats,
Oh
like the
yeah.
fucking
Yeah. The rolling 808s
yeah
kicking. Yeah, I know. Those were always like the. I think that was always like our thing. Yeah, the electro and those fucking.
yeah just those that bass for me was always when you hear that
The
bass.
808
Yeah,
boom boom. Yeah, that and like yeah, there were some records we would like spend like 20 but that was like the thing about it too
ah,
was like
yeah,
they
that's
said
right. The price
yeah, the pricing out there in Record Alley was like
ridiculous.
insane. Like it was like $25 for a scratch record.
Yeah, $25.
And then the other records were like if you wanted a full album, it'll be like what, $15? If you wanted the single, it'll still be like $10.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was at that time records were starting to get popular again, so they started bumping up the price. Not to
Yeah,
mention that was the only record shop in the valley at the time.
yeah. At least that we knew of.
Yeah.
But yeah. Then we started to outsource, like I said, go out to San Bernardino and go to that one record spot, and we just get like the basics of like
We
some
actually
hip hop
yeah, we actually went
tracks.
digging for other music other than fucking scratch records. So we did for old school hip hop,
Yeah,
electro, like we actually went digging.
yeah. Oh, because also too, we wanted to get into like almost like the battle scene of it, where you backspin and shit. Because of course on the DIYs and all that stuff, all they would always talk about backspinning and getting two of the same records and making that shit go back and forth.
That's
So
called
that
beat juggling
yeah,
now.
yeah,
But I mean, I still call it backspinning too sometimes. But
yeah.
for the ones that don't know,
For the
backspinning is
OGs, yeah.
beat juggling.
For the OGs, it's backspinning. But actually for the OGs, it's the merry-go-round, like Cool Herc. But from there, we just I don't know. We try to do a bit of beat juggling. We try to do. We'd always scratch. That's one thing we always gravitated to was just scratching to these beats. But a lot of times those beats were like a minute long, 2 minute long,
Yep.
and you be getting into the fucking into your zone.
And then the beat's
The
over.
beat's
Like
over. And you
once
gotta
you get into your zone, like there's 4 bars left and the beat's over.
yeah,
So we were constantly starting the record over.
yeah,
Like sometimes we would be like the honor system, like he's getting it in and you start it over, so you wouldn't have to do it, and then he'll get his flow going.
yeah. But then it
Some,
was always off beat though, so it was
yeah,
like you're in the zone, yeah. But then like you stop and you just like you do that little ta, 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 and then all of a sudden like vegan,
yeah.
like oh god damn it,
Fuck. I appreciate it, but fuck.
I know. So so because of that, we got I think I was the first one to buy a
Yeah,
beat machine.
you had a small little. It was a rolling little beat machine,
Yeah,
like a old. Just
but
did.
it didn't work. I remember that. It would just you would just play like the beats that were on there, and it would just loop constantly
Yeah,
loop.
it was definitely the simplest beat machine you can think of. Like it just
Yeah,
had your typical. I think it was like the Roland, like the 808 kit, the fucking the boutique, the TR 808, the
yeah,
simple, just a kick, snare, hi hat, rim shot. It was just that, and then he was able to loop it. I think, right?
yeah. Well, like I said, it had beats on there, like just like simple like 2 bar, 4 bar loops on
Yeah,
there, but it had like everything else. It had hip hop, it had dance, it had rock, it had freaking bongos and stuff. And they weren't that great. I think wasted my money on that at the time. I mean, it did have like cool sounds, like like you said, they had the 808s and stuff. But unless you're live beat drumming, you won't really make the pattern you want.
yeah.
But
And then I remember once again he got it, and I got inspired by that. So I went trying to find one, and I went to I had my dad take me out of town to because he told me he goes, oh yeah, sometimes at the pawn shops they sell you know instruments and beat machines and little gadgets like that. So we went, and once again I went there not knowing what the fuck was what. So this thing looked like a beat machine. I see the little buttons right there. I buy it, take it home, and trying to figure it out because there was no manual. And then I realized it's a fucking playback machine. I don't know the exact lingo for it, but it just played back whatever you were able to record into it.
yeah,
It didn't have no kits, nothing.
yeah,
So it did have like this sampler for maybe like, gosh, maybe like 5 seconds,
oh,
and I had this instrumental playing on the record, and then I sampled Lucifer, Son of the Morning, that old reggae one.
yeah. I remember that.
I sampled like that beginning part
Max
because it was
Romero.
a cappella. There you go,
Yeah,
Max Romero. I sampled the beginning part, and then I had it playing, and it wasn't able to press the button for it to play. It would just it would just loop itself on the playback machine. So I would try to match it up with the beat, and then I was amazed. That was all I did. But I showed Juan too. I showed him, look, like look what I did, you know. And
Who's won?
DJ Bass, my bad, my bad. I showed DJ Bass,
Nah, I was kidding.
and I was like, dude, like, look at this, like, it sounds cool, you know. And then
I was amazed too. I was low key jealous, but I was amazed. Like, damn, he can do like he can like put like this little loop of a record, and then he put like a drum sample to it. And I'm like, hey, he can do that shit. I didn't know he could do that. But
yeah, I didn't either, and it blew my mind because like it all happened from experimenting, you know.
oh
Like
yeah,
it just
definitely.
fucking experimented. It was dope. It worked out.
Yeah, and then from that, we kind of just like sat back on it a little bit because I bought that beat machine that didn't really work for what I wanted to work for. And same thing with you. So we kind of like stepped back from like making our own beats up until you got the what's that?
Oh,
That
the Roland MC505.
yeah.
But I think you got the MPC 1000 first.
No, because we started messing with the street box,
Oh,
the
that's
Street
right.
Kings.
Gosh, that's right. So I think I got the Street Kings first.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it. I got the Street Kings first. And this is another fucking funny part is that I went to Sam Ash for this one. I saw this and I didn't know exactly what I wanted. I just wanted a beat machine, so I got this Beat King Street Box, I think it was called. Small little beat machine. And I needed a program to put the beats out. So the guy convinced me to buy a fucking Cubase. I don't know what version it was at the time. And I never even used it because the computer I had was a piece of crap
He's probably
PC.
looking at you like I'm gonna get this
Yeah, he's I'm
motherfucker.
gonna get money
I'm
off
gonna
this
get money.
bus. You
I'm
don't
gonna
know
get
shit, dude.
commission's
Fucking
gonna made
buster.
commission's gonna be made today, son.
So yeah, I got the beat machine for fucking I believe 250, and then the Cubase was another 250. So I think it was like $500. And
Yeah,
my computer wasn't even compatible with. That's the funny part. And then at the time, we can't get no new computer and shit. But anyways,
I think the computer we got was like bought off somebody else. That was like an old computer that probably the only thing that was cool about that computer was it can play Age of Empires.
yeah. Don't even get me started on that game.
Oh, but you know what? I totally like blanked on it. But remember that EJ program your neighbor gave you?
Oh, dude, that shit was
We made
dope,
we
dude.
were making dance like beats,
Yeah,
like
dude.
rave music.
Oh my god, that shit was fucking fire, dude. Like, I know it was still you were basically pasting,
Yeah,
little loops,
loops. Yeah,
but I think it was the best fucking time of my life. Like,
it was fun.
yeah, like we made some fucking awesome things. We take turns, and that thing was fucking bad.
We were making dance music, man. It
Yeah,
was, I mean, yeah, and basically we were making dance music.
and I mean, it's just at the time we weren't like hardcore hip hop. We were just creating. It was just
Yeah, it
like
was
it was
just
fun creating, and like
yeah.
look what we did. Like I made this.
Hmm.
And I don't think we couldn't even save it either. That's the funny thing. And every
Yeah.
time we get on, it was just a new project. Like,
Hmm. Like, what did I do last time? I'm gonna freaking do this and that, like I did last time, and try to remake the beat that you made the night before, but you wasn't always doing it. But still, we were having fun because we were creating like something and just showing like your sisters or your mom or showing your dad like, check out what I made, check out what I
yeah.
made.
And your mom was liking it because your mom was hardcore techno.
Oh yeah,
Your mom was liking all that stuff.
yeah, that's true. DJ Irene.
Techno vibes. I remember that little echo. Techno, techno.
Oh
Vibe,
yeah,
vibe, vibe, vibe.
yeah, those were. I remember that.
Gosh, that brought back a good memory too. That was fucking fun. Because I was thinking, it's funny that you brought it up because I was thinking about that shit the other day. Like the last time I got to play with that, I
Hmm.
made the fucking badass fucking. I don't know what the fuck. It wasn't a techno, but it was like a deep fucking. Well, actually, it was probably dark techno.
Dark
But
no. Wasn't really dark, but it was techno. It was dark.
yeah, there wasn't no. Doom, doom, doom. It was just like a. It was just a huge fucking massive buildup. That's what I remembered. I had this fucking massive buildup, and it got up there, and then the fucking beat just came, and it's like dun 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 dun, and I was like, oh, dude, this shit sounds like epic, dude.
Yeah.
Before epic was even popular word.
Yeah, but that was I remember EJ. I remember Mixman Studios was Remember the Tommy Boy record, those Tommy Boy CDs we would get
Oh yeah,
with
they
all
had
like
a
the Planet Rock, and it had
yeah.
like four different versions of Planet Rock on there, and yeah, that came with the a DVD, not a DVD, but a CD-ROM. You can install a trial version of Mixman Studios,
Yeah.
and the only thing you can do is remix Planet Rock.
Yeah.
So I remember like I will plug that shit in and make my own little version of Planet Rock when it was just like a basic little version of it, but I thought it was cool at the time.
Now
And
you could like break down. Basically, we were rearranging it, but you could have like the breakdown, the beginning,
mhm.
the full beat, little instruments out of it.
But that thing was like at the time I think it was $600 for the full version of it.
Fuck.
So I was like, oh, I'm gonna see what I can make out of this, and all I was doing was just remixing freaking Planet Rock, and kind of got tired of it right away. But yeah, that was dope. That was like in middle school, elementary school. But yeah, that was like a little rewind. But
We went
well,
way back.
yeah, but jump forward to where we left off. Yeah, the Street Kings beatbox, the Street Box, I think it was called.
Yeah, so I got that. I took it home, and it had like its presets, and it was pretty dope. And I learned it, and it was fun. Like we basically that was our looper machine before the looper beats were even out. Like I just you could even save your beats, which was fucking cool. It was a plus. So we'd have these different beats, different tempos, different sounds, and we'd be cutting to it because we got tired of having to put the record back to our favorite song on our scratch
Yeah.
beats.
Oh yeah, we can recreate some of those songs too because
Hmm.
it had all those drum kits that you would hear like on Planet Rock and
Yeah,
Electric Kingdom, like, and we always just remake those. But damn
but
cars.
yeah, it had a
Game
it
on.
had game on. It had a good selection of drum kits, and then I remember letting you borrow it one night because you said you wanted to borrow. I was like, yeah, and then at that point I got a groove box,
Mhm.
but I let him borrow it, and then I'll get back into the groove box.
Groovebox.
Yeah, so
Oh, when you let
when
me borrow
yeah,
the
because
street
I remember
box.
you made some pretty dope beats on there too.
Yeah, it was like I said, I was intrigued. Like where we're creating, what we hear on these records that a minute long, 2 minutes long, and we're basically creating loops. These loop beats and trying different things. I would try to mimic DJ Shadow. I would try to mimic Electric Kingdom. I would try to mimic, and then I started just making like stuff just randomly, like some like gangster ass fucking cholo rap beat and stuff. Type beats, and some of them were cool. Some of them were like, come on, man, what am I doing?
I remember you had a dark beat on there too. It was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Like that one threw me out the way. I was like, oh shit, he made that. Fuck, that's pretty dope. It wasn't a scratch beat. It was just a dope fucking hardcore beat.
Yeah, I was just trying something. We figured out the metronome because I remember we uh we didn't know about the metronome at the time. We were just making loop for like the 4 bars at however many seconds. We would just try to like, well, I think we would hit like the first kick or the first hi hat, and you would know when it came back around. You would hear it again, like, oh, okay, that's how much
Yeah,
time I had. But
yeah.
we didn't know to turn the metronome on, so I remember
That
I was like
was
trying to figure shit out. I would call you like, hey, how do you do this? And yeah, we would do the metronome and make all these fucking crazy beats. We didn't know anything about metronomes. We didn't know anything about BPMs. Whatever it was set at, that's what we make beats on.
yeah. Eventually though, like it fell in place. We started learning that the snares hit on twos and fours around
Yeah,
there, and kicks are on the ones and threes around there too. It just fell. That's the funny part is like we learned that concept like without being taught it. I guess just naturally came because I know like I've tried to teach people about who've asked me to teach them to make beats, and they just can't understand that concept for some reason. Is the twos and fours like the snares hit around there?
yeah, the basic concept of it. Yeah, no, it's. But yeah, I remember figuring that shit out. And of course, we've always just kept creating and just figuring shit out as we go. But yeah, you You started messing with the groove box while I was messing with the street box.
Yeah, that's a great story because I when I was little, I think I was for sure I think I was like a sixth grader, sixth or seventh grader, and I went to my cousin's house, his grandma's house. We would go swimming there, and at the time his cousin was living there, his second cousin was living there, or his uncle, I'm sorry, and he had a groove box, and he goes, yeah, hopefully my uncle's there so he could let us play with his beat machine. So all the times I'd go there, I'd be hoping to like check it out, because he showed it to me. Just we never turned it on. And one day I got to play on it, and I just was like hooked. I was like, wow, this is like amazing. Like all the sounds, going through the sounds and listening to it. And this goes fast forward this back to high school. Rest in peace. But his uncle died, and my cousin said, "Oh, my grandma said if you want it, because we know that you liked it." And I was like, yeah, of course I want it. And they said, yeah, just take care of it and don't ever sell it. And of course, I'll never sell it. But they just gave me the whole MC505. It's a fucking tank,
No, I think it's
and
huge.
no manual, nothing. Like there was basically just the box, the machine. So I was in a way I was nervous because I was like, how am I gonna learn this? And at the time there was no YouTube to teach
I
you,
know,
and no internet. There was a little bit of internet, but no, I'm pretty sure there
but
was
we
no.
couldn't like go on Google and search,
Yeah,
owner's manual or something
ask
like that.
ask Jeeves.
Yeah,
Hey,
as
ask
Jeeves.
Jeeves, how do I get this MC505 to work?
Uh,
But I told myself, and I'm gonna get this down. I'm gonna learn it, and took me a week trial and error, and I fucking learned it. I figured out how to record a beat, how to start and stop, how to find my patches, how to assign my patches to the channel, because it had, I believe, 5 channels that you could assign patches to, and I was making some dope stuff. Like I was so proud of myself because I put my mind to it and I fucking did it, at a young age, and I was just at that point. Basically, you're just making melodies, so I got really hooked on just creating melodies.
yeah, definitely. I remember you made like some evil beats on there.
Yeah, that was during that. Gosh, that.
That was when we were like so deep into Immortal Technique and
Yeah,
Jedi Mind Tricks, and
and
yeah, I
then
remember that.
also fucking Resident Evil too. Like I know
Oh yeah.
that one beat, their famous first intro song on the
Hmm.
movie was like very fucking inspiring for some reason.
Yeah. After you started figuring that out, I started figuring out the street box. Oh, the street box had good sounds in it too. Was one thing I didn't mention was that street box had like some dope synths. It had like of course
Hmm.
like all the different kinds of drum pads. It even had like some world music on there, which was cool.
Yeah, it had. I remember that it had
Yeah.
World. It had a good drum kit, a good selection.
Yeah, and it
It
went
was
from
worth it.
yeah, it went from like keys to like synths, and it went to bass lines, which was that was actually a,
Oh, that's right. The
yeah.
bass fucking patches were dope,
Hmm.
and it even had like little samples too. Like you have little string instrument samples.
Oh yeah, little one hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then after that, we just kept, of course, making beats, scratch it to them. Actually, I still have our first like two scratch tracks where we're just like your beat and then my beat. I still have all those. Listening to them back is like, damn, like as basic as we were like we were onto something there, man. You know,
and then at that point when we did that, we already had better equipment. It
yeah,
wasn't great. It was just better. So like
yeah,
I remember getting my first Vestex '05, and I still have it. And that one was like the game changer for me. That was like I was able to start crabbing on there because that was like the first scratch I ever heard that wanted me to learn it, and that one set it for me.
yeah. And then I had the denim uh mixer, but I still have my little cheap new marks. But because of the skipless scratch records, I will be able to scratch on there a lot. Um,
And
I'm
then also in between all this going on, like we were still scratching, but also um I remember you doing parties as well. You did a couple of DJ gigs
Oh
there, and I remember us scratching there. People would ask, you know.
yeah, I would bring my turntables, but I wouldn't use them. That's the funny thing about it. I would just use like my little CD players to like just play the music. But at the end of the night, I would like bring the turntables, plug them in and just scratch for like a quick 10-15 minutes before we pack up. But yeah, I remember that. That was always fun going to these parties and shit.
Right.
Um, so after a while, we started making these loopers and recording our scratching and stuff. We thought we were the only DJs for like the longest time because we go to Record Alley, we see the same
Yeah.
records that we saw the week before. So we just assumed we were like, damn, we gotta go to like the LA and stuff to like see these fucking other DJs because feels like we're the only scratch DJs out
Yeah,
here.
and I think that that whole mentality was derived because back in middle school when we were b-boying and we were the only b-boys,
Yeah,
so we had this mentality like we're the only ones that are into this hip hop. So that's where it came from, like us thinking we're the only ones in the valley.
yeah. But little did we know, man, just right around the corner there was DJ
Down the
Smoke.
street.
Yeah, DJ Smoke one and the Vinyl Assassins crew, man. And we got introduced to them. I think we first met up with Rockwell.
Yeah, we first met Rockwell, and I met him at the mall, but I knew who he was because he did Tang Sudo with his father, and his school, his cousin was my cousin, and we went to like a semi, not so much of a rival school, but it was like they were still like they had the same master as well. We had the same master, but that's how I kind of knew who he was. And then when we ran into him at the mall, I think we knew he was DJing too, and that's how we started talking to him.
Yeah, he knew. Yeah, he knew everybody in Vinyl Assassins.
Yeah,
So one day we were just like, let's have a scratch session, and we ended up having them come over to my house.
yeah, we had to like bribe him because like at the time the valley was so like it was there were still a lot of cliques and no one fucked with each other. It was you stick to yourselves and
Yeah, we
um
didn't know that though.
yeah, we didn't know that we were the youngsters of squad 2, by the way. Like we
Yeah,
were the babies, and we were just like where our eyes were open like, whoa, there's other people, so like we
yeah,
want to be friends with you, like we want to know you. And we went to a show one time. Actually, we went to exact opposite show. But actually, you should probably explain getting the MPC 1000 first because that's how we got into going to these shows to meet the other DJs.
yeah. So yeah, meeting the Vinyl Assassins and everybody in Vinyl Assassins, especially Smoke, and I mean, they didn't let us into Vinyl Assassins, but they welcomed us with open arms because I
Yeah,
guess
one.
they saw like a little bit of them in us. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I think they were filling us out because they didn't want to make sure we were fucking busters either. You know,
yeah.
like
But I
like
mean, they saw the potential in us. And then from there, we were always like fans of like just local hip hop and shit. And uh, you showed me Undiscovered Poets one time, and then I was like,
yeah,
immediately I was like, dude, these guys are dope. Like that'd be cool if we could meet them because they're here in the valley. And
yeah.
at the time, it was like they were sounding like what we're listening to. Like of course, Jedi Mind Tricks, Immortal
Yeah,
Technique.
heavy bass, heavy violin samples
Yeah,
for
so
that
we were
first
like,
beat. That
yeah, we were like, oh, like, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, across the street was Buck Ruga moved in, and Buck Ruga at the time he worked with Dumb Guy from Undiscovered Poets. So when he brought him over one day, because he told Dumb Guy like a DJ lives across the street. Let's go check him out and shit. So he came over and brought Dumb Guy over, and then they just met them, and I forgot what we were talking about, but I brought up like, yeah, dude, Undiscovered Poets, like they're from out here, they're fucking dope. He's like, oh, like you really like the music? I'm like, yeah, they're like, I'm a big fan. And so he was like looking at Buck like, oh, he doesn't know I'm in fucking Undiscovered
this
Poets.
guy don't
He's
know.
like, yeah, he's like, I make the beats, like I'm in Undiscovered Poets. I'm like, oh shit, no way, like so you make beats? What do you make beats on? And that's when he like told me like, I make beats on the MPC 1000. I was like, what about you? Do you make beats? I'm like, yeah, I make beats, but we use my cousin's little groove little street box. So I showed him it, and he was like checking it out. He's like, "It's pretty cool, but you should try to get into the MPC 1000." And I was like, what does that do? Like,
What is this
does it do
device?
the same thing as this thing? Because why would I get that when I got this? And he's like, no, this is like you can't record into that. You can record into the MPC. So it intrigued me. And the following weekend he came over after they got off work, and he brought his MPC, and he was like showing me all the beats he makes on there and stuff, and show me like little fundamentals, and he told me to hit the pads and shit. And I was like, damn, I gotta get one of these now. But those things at the time were expensive as fuck. They were like
Oh,
$1,000. I think
gee.
$1,200 for some of them. And I was like, you know what? This is gonna be the next purchase. I'm not gonna buy any more DJ gear. So I think I saved up for like 3 months, maybe 4 months to get. Oh, I saw one. I used one for like $800, and I was
Where'd you
like,
get it at?
I think I got it on eBay
Okay.
because I eBay at the time was like blowing up.
Yeah, that's where I got mine.
Yeah, so got it. You know, after 4 months of saving up, and finally, it took like not only that, it took like fucking 2-3 weeks to get to my house.
Yeah.
Because at the time it wasn't as fast as 2-day shipping and shit here. But yeah, it took like almost 3 weeks just to get to my house, and I finally opened it up, and I didn't know it, and it doesn't come with any sounds. So that's one thing that sucked about it. It was like, oh shit, like I called dumb guy. What? How do you do this thing, dude? Like it doesn't have anything in it. He's like, yeah, you gotta put stuff in it. It's like, why?
Why'd you make me buy this shit? What's the matter with you?
So, of course, you take that step back and like, shit, what did I just get myself into? And then he came through. He started showing me, again, how to how to make how to make these how to sample basically into it. So then I would sample some beats from the groove box or from the street box, and that's how I would have my drums. And he showed me how to sample records, because of course I was already a DJ, so I would just get like he'd bring over like 10 records and like here, just try to sample these. So plug those in, sample. I would just do loops of like the way we used to do it. That's all I knew how to do. So I would just make loops and just put drums on it, and there I made a beat. And yeah,
It's
that was.
it's funny because like I don't remember ever communicating with you around this time.
Mhm.
It's like I don't know if we were busy or what or just in our own world just practicing,
Yeah.
We just broke away to practice, but I remember going to your house one day and then you just had like 3 beats already
Hmm.
and then you on the MP and you played it and the first one you had blew my mind away because it was like an 808. It reminded me of Undiscovered Poets track.
Oh yeah.
It just reminded me of that. But it was the 808 and then a violin sample and it was just boom, boom,
I think that was
boom.
weakness.
Yeah, yeah, weakness. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, like you how the fuck did you do that? So we kind of opened up my mind on it. And then once again, it inspired me again. I was like, I gotta get one of these. Like, this is amazing. Like this beat machine is fucking bad.
Yeah.
And he showed me like 2 other beats, and I was like, dude, I gotta go and order one of these. So I went home and I ordered mine, and I got it on eBay too, and it sucked because I got it for $800, and then it took 2 or 3 weeks to get here, and when it got there, it was broken. The light
Oh
would die out on there, and I couldn't see
yeah,
the
that was
screen would
weird.
just die, and I was bummed out. I called the guy. I got a hold of his number, and it was from Rhode Island. He sounded like Necro. I thought it was funny. Sounded like we were listening to Necro too around that time, but he sounded like him. And I was like, did I buy this off Necro? This is kind of cool. But then he goes, oh yeah, that was maybe I'll just send it back, and then I'll send you another one. And the cool thing is our dads had friends with UPS, so he was like, oh yeah, just give me it, and I'll do it all for you. And I was like, wow, because that was the hardest thing as back
Yeah,
then
we
is
didn't know what to do. Yeah.
sending shit out in the mail. It's like I didn't know how to send a package out in the mail.
So old school. But yeah, I remember there was you coming through, and you heard that beat, and you're like, "Fuck, this is what you've been doing since we haven't been chilling. What the
Yeah,
fuck?"
dude, I was amazed, dude. I like you fucking just blew my mind away,
I
man.
think you were working graveyards at the time, wasn't it?
Maybe that's what it was. I started working.
Yeah, because I remember you got a job and I got a job too. I started working with UPS. Actually,
Oh,
bunch of,
that's right.
I
That's
started
right.
working with UPS and I started working for the hospital you worked with. And yeah, I remember we were just like we took a little break. I think 'cause I took a break from scratching too a little bit, and because I think we were just like we are just too much like just into scratching all the time, and you kind of get burnt out a little bit. So we needed like something else to like
Yeah, I
to
think
get.
that's why we originally started venturing off to make beats.
hmm So yeah, I remember coming through to your house. You were like, "Dude, you got to come through. I just got one. I got an NPC. I need you to show me how to use it."
Yeah.
So I came through and I would just try to show you everything that I knew, and like I remember you did like some like same thing, a little violin track with 808 on it, and I was like, God damn, he's fucking, he picked his shit up faster than I did. So went back to my house and we started just making beats and just showing each other on the phone and
Yeah,
stuff.
we would constantly show each other what we made. That was the coolest thing. It's like, oh, look what I did. Oh, look what I did. Look what I did. Look
Yep.
what I did. And it was just like, in a way, it was not so much of a competition. It was a friendly competition because, I mean, I wasn't trying to top him. I was just trying to do something cooler, and then he was doing something cooler, and it would just be like this. And little did
hmm
we know we're both fucking leveling up because we're just like, it's that friendly fucking competition.
Yeah, definitely. But it's all based on the samples we'd find. You'd always find like I don't know where'd you get your fucking records from, but you always have the soulful records, and I've had these like dark violin records.
Yeah,
But yeah, that I guess made our styles.
yeah.
You having the soulful style, I had the dark hardcore hip hop. Um, and I remember one day you came over and I was just showing you some beats, and then you were just like, "Dude, I think I want to rap on this."
Yeah, it definitely just inspired me to start wanting to rap because I was always writing in high school, but I never really like took it serious because the homies back then were freestylers and they were artists, and I was just DJ. But I would always write myself little rhymes here and there, and then I was like, when I heard one of his beats, I was like, something clicked in my head. I was like, I think I want to start like spitting these, like applying these rhymes that I've written, and from there it just I stopped DJing for the longest time, and I started rhyming.
Yeah, I started focusing on beats. You started focusing on rhyming and freestyling too,
Yeah,
actually.
freestyling too. Um, shit.
And we recorded our first track. Remember with
Yeah,
DJ Aronel.
yeah.
We
We
went.
went to the homie Aaronel's house, and he worked at the hospital. But it's funny how we met him because I think he met us both at different times.
hmm
But his approach was like, "Hey, you look like you do music," and I was like, "How'd you know?" He was like, "I just know." And started talking from him, and the next thing you know, fucking, he's one of our best friends.
Oh yeah, still to this day.
Yeah.
But we
Like fuck,
recorded.
we known E since like 2017, 2018.
No, longer than that.
Longer, huh?
No, we known
Oh
him
no, no, I'm
since.
sorry. I'm
No,
not
we known him
2018,
since
like
like
2007, 2008.
yeah, 2008, 2009.
It's like fuck.
Because like I graduated in '07, and we really didn't start getting like serious about like music until like 2008 or 2009.
Yeah.
And yeah, ever since then, it's like we've always known Aaron L. I think that's why we're so close. Like even though we're in the same crew, I think we're always like we communicate better. I
Yeah,
guess
I
you
think
say.
there's just that brotherhood that's already established.
Yeah, he's the big brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, we recorded our first track with it. It was a suicide song.
And it was
He-
my first track too. Like,
and we were proud of it too. Like, oh hell yeah, dude.
yeah, like originally though, before this, um, I originally had some rhymes on some like on some battle shit. They were like some MC shit
Mhm.
because the beat got me that vibe. And then at the time too, our homie Quiet, he went by J67.
Cheers, 67.
And
That's the only time we're gonna say his name, dude.
yeah,
Sorry, quiet.
no, I just every time I hear JH67, a Husky, remember when Husky was talking shit about all of us and he had his name too, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
motherfucker. But anyways, our we known our
Quiet.
homie Quiet for like since high school, and he was already in the hip hop scene, so he was very what's the word,
Yeah,
experienced.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah. So he fucking I had my it took me a while, like it took me a good week to write those rhymes, I think, for that track. And then at the time we were going to do a collab. We decided to do a collab with him because he was a homie. And
On
he
some high
came to
school,
the
huh?
house. He came to the house, and he showed me his rhymes, and they were um, completely opposite of what I've written. And me in my head is like, when it comes to a song, it's like they have to like mesh together. Like, you don't want to have this guy saying this and this guy saying that. But I pretty much had to rewrite my rhymes because his track was a little more
On some heartbroken shit, right?
yeah, on some heartbreak raps, and I don't got an issue with that. That's in my opinion, that's one of my favorite things to write about. It just
Especially at the time, because
yeah,
that was like going through girlfriends and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, you're that whirlwind of emotions at that time.
Yeah.
But anyways, I had to go back home and rewrite my rhymes, and then we decided to go to E's house, and he scheduled the session.
Hmm.
And then Quiet went in there, and like I said, he's experienced, so he fucking just laced his shit. He was
Two
already
takes.
comfortable with his style and his voice, and he just had his verse memorized, so he just went in there and laced it like a fucking G. And me, it was my first time, and I had no experience. I had no one telling me, "Oh yeah, try to do this, try to do that," and I was like, I didn't even have my delivery developed. My voice wasn't where it was. I didn't know how to. I didn't have my character. So it was a
Yeah, you're still trying to
horrible.
figure it out, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a horrible process because I was getting upset because they kept telling me to do this and this and that, and I was getting overwhelmed. And I was like, "Fuck! Like this is harder than I think."
Yeah, that's one thing people don't know is you get to have that voice.
Yeah,
As soon as you step into the booth, yeah, you could be like the illest freestyle rhymer and stuff, but then when you get into the booth, you have to know like this is the mic, it's holding up like this, and you have to like rhyme to it. Maybe go a little bit to the left and right, but you can't be like on some freestyle like, yo, check it, you look like Sloth had a baby with Betty White. But yeah, I know it's definitely was because even I was like trying to rhyme too at the time. I would write these little rhymes, and I jumped into the booth too, and same thing. E would be like, "No, dude, don't move so much. Now get close to the mic, but don't get too close. Use a pop
yeah.
filter on there.
Say it with meaning. Say it like you mean it. I'm like,
Yeah,
what the fuck do you mean?
say it with balls." I'm like, I don't know what you mean by that, dude.
What do you mean, man? I'm
So
fucking
you gotta feel those lyrics. But the first track we did was that over that weakness beat.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
actually, before we got into the studio, I was sending Quiet beats. I'm like, just tell me like, what do you think of these beats? And I sent him like five of them, and he's like, no, I'm not feeling this. Like, this ain't the one. He's like, but the weakness one is like that one was actually that's something.
Yeah. And as far as my lyrics, I was happy with my lyrics, but my delivery is just when you're new to something, you're not great. So every time I hear it, I'm just so embarrassed. I was like, fuck, dude, like, man, it's embarrassing. And they would always say, oh yeah, and then some people would say, oh yeah, I love that track too, and they'd play it. I was like, motherfucker, don't play that shit, dude.
Yeah,
Like, fuck, man.
beats hard.
Everyone's their own worst critic, but when you hear your newest shit compared to your first shit, you'd be like, oh, that shit's whack as fuck, dude.
Hey, but
Throw that
the
shit
beat go
away.
hard though, man. The beat was on some evil shit, but you guys were on some heartbreak. I'm like, at the time, I didn't like. I was just happy that somebody jumped on my beat, and
I I think I was rhyming about like suicide too or something like that.
I have the track. You want to hear it? No, I'm
No,
just kidding.
you can keep that shit in the trash if you
That's
want.
actually that's released. That's on some website. I don't know.
Yeah, it's out, but
Yeah, but anyways, after of course, the first track we recorded, since then we just kept trying and trying, and we went to La Stantia for a show with it was Philly Mills performing at that show.
yeah, his album release party.
Yeah, and at the time, we were chilling with Seven, and Seven was actually, well, kind of back up a bit. He was always on some freestyle shit, and we'd always go to these parties after DJing and shit, and the we always you guys always break out into a freestyle cipher.
See, that was actually, yeah, that was prior to me doing that first track. We were still chilling with the DJ homies, of course. But Rockwell, we'd go to these house parties, and he goes, "Oh, so you want to be a rapper now? Well, you better get your freestyle up." So we'd be taking me to fucking house parties to freestyle battle other fucking rappers or MCs.
Hmm.
And I just remember from the first time going there, I was getting served like these fools they weren't that great, but they were better than me, you know.
Yep.
And I was getting served, and if no one was there, then fucking Rockwell would battle me, and he'd fucking serve me and embarrass me, and there'd be fucking girls there too. I was like, oh, dude, I'm gonna fucking freestyle. There's just me. I can just freestyle in front of these girls, and
Yep.
next thing you know, he starts battling me. Like you could tell, he steps up and starts looking at me and dissing me. I was like, fuck, man.
His go to rhyme was grab the microphone
And
and
everyone had their
tell
go
you my
to
beat is on, and I'm like, come on, man.
grip the microphone. Everyone had their go to rhymes and
Yeah.
their go to words. And anyways, like it sucked, but it was leveling me up because then it made me want to keep practicing and getting better. And then, one time I fucking served Rockwell I finally served him once at a freestyle party, and I was like, fuck yeah, like I mean, at a house party.
Finally
And
got him.
next thing you know, jump into ciphers there, and I start fucking tearing fools up. Like I got pretty good.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know because it was one thing. It's one thing to talk shit to like going back and forth on somebody like, oh man, you stink, homie, and like, oh, but I stink like your mom though. But it's one thing to talk shit like that, but it's another thing to make it rhyme.
Yeah.
And I remember because I would try to jump into the ciphers too, and I wasn't always doing so great, but uh, yeah, we would go to like different house parties. I remember, and you got to a point where people wouldn't want to go after you because you would just
They,
come on some like lyrical, like high metaphor, rhymes, and
you try to fight me, they'd want to fight. They'd
yeah,
want to
people
throw
want to
down.
fight you because like you're better than them. And shit. But yeah, that was cool, and that one, and Seven would always go with us everywhere because we started like a little crew called Earthbound at the time,
Yeah.
and he was part of the crew, we're the Earthbound crew, and it was basically just two MCs and one DJ producer, and of course we recorded. I remember we finally recorded at my house for the first time, and of course in the Suicide song, but
That
we thought it was cool,
was
and
my fault this time.
we we just lost visual.
Yeah.
We lost
Fuck.
visual. So, anyways, so we went to a Philly Mill show, and Seven went with us. And at the time, you guys were already 21, and I was still 20, because he was your age. And yeah, that show, I think that changed our basically our lives forever. Of course, Philly gave a good performance. I think that was probably one of the best performances I've seen in a long time for Philly. And he does some good performances. And I remember just Seven got both of us like this, and he pulled us in. And he's like, "Yo,
They put
if
his arms over us and
yeah," he was like,
pulled
"Yo,
us in like a close circle.
if we keep practicing, man, we're gonna get to that level one day." And we both looked at him and were like, "Yeah, like this
Like,
is
yeah, we can do that. Like,
yeah." But then you know, sad to say, he just lost faith in like I guess emceeing.
he had his priorities,
Yeah,
different from us. He had his mind somewhere else, and we had our mind with the music.
and being that we've always figured shit out on our own, we just kept going at just what we love doing because we've known each other for fucking since we were fucking in diapers,
Yeah,
and we knew like as soon as we were passionate about something, we'd always go after it.
yeah, and the good thing about us is like we would always the good thing about us is that we would always
Figure it out.
figure it out and then keep building off each other's ideas also. Like
Yeah,
every time even when we have different ideas, somehow we'll still manage to fucking build off of it and just grow
definitely.
from it. And I think that's why our chemistry is fucking dope. Like you're at the point where I feel like you read my mind because I tell you to do something sometimes. I won't tell you, but I'll ask you if you could do something.
Hmm.
And then, like, right before I even finish what I'm gonna ask, if you could change something on this beat, you're already fucking doing it, and
Yeah.
that shit blows my mind till this day. It's like I don't even gotta ask anymore. It's to the point where I just let him do his thing because when you have the thought of saying a change, he just does it like instantly, never fails.
Like, can you add some more rhythm? I got it. Oh
Yep.
shit. Okay, never mind. I'm not even gonna say shit. But yeah, that was the life changing moment was when he said that to us, and yeah, like I said, he had different priorities than us, and we really wanted his music shit.
Yeah.
But that's yeah, that's what changed. That's what paved the way to us being MC and DJ, and I focus more on DJing and making beats. And actually, since we started recording at my house, I started like to try to get into engineering, and we try to record some stuff. And I think at the time you moved in with me,
Yeah.
and you know we come home for both, be home from work, and I go into my room, you be in your room. You already have like your ghetto blaster, making beats on your MP. I go in my room, I start making beats on my MP, and then I remember this one time you're doing a drum pattern on yours, and I'm doing the same drum pattern in mine, and you could just like we just both stop at the same time. This is how like we knew like we can read each other's minds, was like we both stop at the same time. We both be laughing in our rooms,
For reals, man.
and then like yeah, we'll take breaks and we'll just go in each other's rooms and be like, what are you working on? Oh, let me check this out.
Yep.
And yeah, we just kept going, kept taking it serious, and DJing kind of just was on the back burner. Scratch DJing was on the back burner for us. We still know how to do it. We'd still go to like the Vinyl Assassins, their scratch sessions, but we
Yeah,
still
we still had our techniques down. They might have been a little sloppy, but it's like riding a bike thing, like it was it just was there. It's always there. It's never
yeah,
gonna go anywhere.
and yeah, we just kept at it, and we released Happy Music, which was my first mixtape, and that I got people from Undiscovered Poets. I've got of course l.hundo on it, my boy Quiet, and the homegirl Gigi. I remember
Oh,
that track. That track wasn't the greatest, but um,
the G.
oh, and Buck Ruga too. My neighbor across the street. He just started emceeing, and he wanted to jump on some tracks. And then shortly after, you released the Ominous mixtape,
Yeah,
and yeah, from there it was like it's on. We started to release our own projects, and we thought that was it. Like this is fucking dope. We have the power to do this ourselves,
yeah.
to release this music stuff. At the time it was MySpace, so we just released it digitally, burn
No.
CDs, give them out to shows and shit. But got a lot of good feedback for sure.
Yeah, the hunger was there, and everything was just. It's the whole process was crazy, crazy, beautiful, and dope, man. Like it just, it just fucking. It was amazing, man. Like I would never go back and do anything different. Like it all fucking worked out.
Definitely. But one thing I would say is yeah, if you're starting out and you don't know what to do, just do everything. You never know what you're gonna land on.
Yeah.
Whether it's people, what it's really up to you if you want to do it for people's entertainment or you want to do it for yourself. Of course, I was freestyling, trying to freestyle, and I was writing rhymes, but for some reason beats and DJing would always that would be my bread and butter. So I stuck with it, and yeah, just try everything because you never know what you might stumble upon. Just
Yeah, keep experimenting, keep trying, and most importantly is just make sure you have fun with it.
oh yeah,
If you have
definitely.
that mentality of just have fun with it, then it'll be so much easier to create. Don't ever look at it as, oh, I'm gonna do this because I want to get famous. I want to be a fucking famous star, or it's just that'll never work.
Hmm.
It's gonna be a lot harder if you have that mentality. I just want to do it for fame.
Yeah, we never really did it for any like fame or we're gonna get paid off this. We just did it because we wanted the of course to each
The
other we wanted the I don't know
We didn't want the respect, of
not
course,
respect, but we
and
wanted the recognition
yeah,
from each other first, and then after that, we got recognition from other people. Fucking flying.
yeah, like
And
yeah, that's actually a good way to say it.
yeah, because we always everything we did, we show each other first, and then we show other people. And yeah, that's like I said, just try everything. Don't think because you want to rhyme, you want to rhyme and you're not that great, and then you make your own beats. You might maybe your beats sound better than your rhymes.
Yeah,
So just keep working on those beats, and eventually later on down the line, after you work with enough people, or you just hear, you used to practice. You're gonna fucking. I don't even know where I'm going with this.
I just
I'm gonna
keep
cut this whole part out.
just keep working, man. I mean, practice makes improvement, and you won't know what you like if until you keep experimenting with whatever it is you want to do in the music world. And like he was saying, I mean, you may have some rhymes, but they're not as good as your beats, So you can either home in and zone in on your production skills, or you can just keep practicing on your rhymes, and you're gonna have to fucking you at one point you're gonna have to do one. You can't be the best at both. You have to take time to do one thing at a time. Unless you have the time, if you have 24 hours in a day, more power to you. You just
Definitely.
most importantly, you got to utilize your time. But and from my experiences, you have to do one thing at a time, practice at one thing at a time. I can't just practice making beats one day and then later I'm gonna just do some raps and practice my raps. I just have to focus on one and then combine them later.
Definitely. But yeah, just anybody listening to this part, we lost the video, but the audio's still going. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. Keep grinding, man. If you're starting out, just keep grinding. If you're still in this game 10 plus years, keep fucking grinding, dude. Don't fucking stop. You love this shit because you do this shit because you love it, not because you're trying to get paid. You're looking for that big paycheck.
You know,
It's cool to have the big paycheck, but
it'll come. It's just a matter of you perfecting your art. You know, do it because you love it. The only time you need to quit is if you're not having fun anymore. I mean, so
definitely.
much we've gotten so much opportunity, so much we've even. I mean, we've made money. We're not saying we've made a lot,
We made money. We
but
went
we've
on
made money.
tour.
We went on tour, and it all started because we had a love for it, and we love what we do.
We figure shit out,
Yeah,
even
it
though
just starts coming. It starts all that the quote unquote fame and money starts coming. It may not. It's on a smaller scale compared to a famous artist right now, but it came, and it's getting more and more.
Yep.
More opportunities, more fucking more time to shine more time to shine and to better yourself.
Not only that, I mean, we've been talking for almost a year about starting a podcast, and look at now we're doing it. Had to figure out some kinks here and there, but like I said, we're still figuring shit out, and we're still getting better. I'm surprised to see. I'm gonna be surprised, in a year from now, if we keep doing this podcast, how dope it's gonna be later on in the future.
Oh
We
yeah,
might even
well,
have a whole like team like right there
yeah,
helping us with it.
own warehouse,
Yeah,
mess some visuals on the back screen. Like
yeah.
I
I
want
bet-
the space, like green screen in the back with like us going through space,
I want to be at
like
the.
a giant cat right there in
So
the
one day
corner.
we'll be in space. The other day we'll be at a beach. Just chilling
Be on top of a pizza right there. Like, gosh, I can't wait for
on
that.
top of a pizza, eating pizza. That's all I want to do. Our last episode is gonna be us eating pizza on top of a pizza.
With the pizza shirt, dude.
The
Pizza pajamas.
Ninja Turtle freaking headband. But yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Hope everybody enjoys this. Hope everybody else gets better as long as you keep trying every day to get your passion, get
Yeah.
better at it.
Yep. If you want to get better, you will get better. You just got to put your mind to it and do the work. Don't A lot of people don't want to do no fucking work. They just expect it to happen.
Yep.
Don't work that way.
This is our first episode. Well, to me and Hundo, this is our second episode, but this is our first episode we're gonna air. And yeah, like I said, I'm curious to see how it's gonna sound when we're on episode 10. Like, oh, the episode episode 1 was kind of weak, but
You know,
it's out there.
I honestly though, like I know we're close to finishing, but I love like that whole process as well because like when we first start like with our music, it's all rugged and raw basically.
Yeah.
You know, and by the time the 10th episode come, we'll probably be,
Yeah.
fucking on these some lazy boy recliners, matching table.
Nice studio.
Yeah, so I it's all a process, it's all a journey, and it's gonna be great.
Definitely. Well, thank you guys for listening to our origin story. Um, you can follow me at DJ BA5E. DJ Base Everything on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Hundo.
I'm on Instagram 24/7. That's my main one, or TikTok, I guess, but I'm hardly on there. But it's l.hundo. Um, you can find me on Instagram. I don't
And
know.
you can also find, our merch, which is Ahhhh Fresh on Instagram. Is A, 4 H's, Ahhhh Fresh, all one word. Official Ahhhh Fresh, I just say. And get yourself an Ahhhh Fresh tee. Pretty soon we're gonna have some hoodies, and they're gonna, you know,
Keep you
warm
warm.
warm you up in the winter.
Yeah, they keep you warm like a nice bowl of fucking caldo.
Hey, caldo hit different on when it's cold, huh?
Honestly, I enjoy it in the summertime.
Okay.
My mom likes to make it in the summertime,
Oh,
so
shit.
for some reason.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.